We're talking about the Rogers Park 49th Ward community budgeting process. There is an election next Saturday, April 10th, at the Chicago Math and Science Academy, where anyone over 16, citizen or not, as long as they live in the ward, can vote on, I think, over 30 different proposals.
There's 36 different proposals
36
on the ballot.
proposals. We get to vote on 8 of them. And it will decide how the $1.3 million in discretionary budget money will be used here in the 49th Ward. Now, Joe Moore, I remember you bringing some people around a couple years ago when you first somehow you caught wind of this community budgeting process. And like you said in your op-ed piece in the Tribune the other day, it's kind of like the old New England town meetings, and I got to say I'm sort of familiar with that, having grown up in Connecticut, and I actually remember my folks going to these meetings and hearing stories about these kind of things. And so where did you hear about it, and how did it evolve so that you actually put it into action? Because to my understanding, this is the first time an elected official, certainly in this country, has brought this into the local mainstream, so to speak, to make it happen.
Yeah, I first heard about participatory budgeting when I attended the United States Social Forum in Atlanta 4 years ago. The U.S. Social Forum is kind of a gathering of political progressives and others who are concerned about the fact that too much government is in the hands of the special interests and the powerful. And I learned about this as a project that first started in Porto Alegre, Brazil, in the late 1980s when a leftist government there took over, was elected to run that city, and what it was is exactly what it is here. They took a portion of their municipal budget and turned it over to the people to determine how that money was going to be spent. It quickly spread to other parts of South America, to Europe, to Canada. Toronto, the Toronto Canada Housing Authority has participatory budgeting. But as you indicated, it's never been done in the United States. That is not until we are doing it here in the 49th Ward.
Hallelujah. What's the response? What's your sense of other aldermen who know that you're doing this? And what do you hear from people around the country? I'm sure there's a lot of people who are catching wind to this and say, this is good, and we should do this on a local level in our own community.
Yeah, and some of my colleagues are starting to catch wind of it. They're intrigued. This is, quite frankly, in Chicago, this is a pretty radical concept. This city has.
We are living in Chicago.
This city has a tradition of very much tightly controlled information, top-down decision making. The kind of community participation in Chicago is generally viewed as pretty advisory and pretty perfunctory. But so this is sort of, by Chicago standards, a pretty radical concept. But it's really catching on. People in other wards have heard about it. And what I wanted to do is let the whole process play itself out from its inception until the election. And then when it turns out to be a success, as I anticipate it will be, I'm going to introduce my colleagues to the concept and bring some of the consultants who've advised us on putting together this process. People have been working on trying to get participatory budgeting to the United States to come and talk with me and them and my colleagues to encourage some of them to try it, because quite frankly, it's not only good government, I believe it's good politics.
I'm here with our alderman in the 49th Ward, Joe Moore. We're talking about the community budgeting process that is underway here in our ward, where 36 various proposals will be voted on next Saturday morning, April 10th, at the Chicago Math and Science Academy, right there at Toohey and Clark. And you can vote up there at what time?
9 o'clock to 3 o'clock Saturday, from Saturday morning to Saturday afternoon.
Early voting?
Early voting at my ward office at 7356 North Greenview and Jarvis, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and we're open until 7 on Wednesday. And if people want to take a look ahead of time on what proposals they're going to be asked to be voting on, there's a couple ways they can do it. One, they can go to my website, ward49.com, click on the link to the participatory budgeting blog, and there you can get a copy of the sample ballot. Also, the Mess Hall Gallery, which is located on Glenwood just south of Morse here in Rogers Park. I believe the address is 6972 North Glenwood. Anyway, it's I'm not exactly
You're getting
sure.
up there to the no exit.
Yeah, you're getting up to the no exit. All right, it's just south of
Mess Hall, just south of Morse.
Just south of Morse. Their gallery is going to be open this weekend from 12 to 4, Saturday and Sunday, where they have a display that all the various committees in this participatory budgeting process have put together, displaying all of the projects that they are proposing and justifying why those projects merit the support of the voters. The projects will also be on display at the mess hall. Will also be open during the week from 4 o'clock on, so people can catch it after work during the week.
Well, Joe Moore, how about letting us know what some of those 36 proposals are? As I understand, and as we've said, people will get to vote on their 8th favorite.
That's
and
right.
then how many will actually be chosen in the long run? The
Well,
top 20, the top 15? Or
Well,
as you
indicated, everybody is going to get 8 votes, and they can vote for up to 8 projects.
But you have to split your. You can't
There's no
just vote.
cumulative voting. You can't
Okay.
You can't bullet vote all 8s for one project. It's one vote per project, and the projects range from the traditional street resurfacing, sidewalk repairs, street lights, to some of the less traditional but nonetheless eligible for capital fund projects like a dog-friendly area, murals under the Metra and CTA viaducts, a decorative bike racks that would be put in different places throughout the ward, historical markers telling people about the history of Rogers Park that would be placed in different wards. So you're going to have a full range of choices and 8 votes and choose them. Now, the winners will be the top vote getters, and you just go down the list until all of the $1.3 million has been allocated.
Has each committee worked on a budget in this process too, like the dog park people or the community gardening?
What's really fascinating about this is that people have been very, very careful about how this money is being spent. For example, you mentioned the dog park folks. They could have gone for the bells and whistles proposal, all of the various accessory items that the park district will provide for a dog park, but they decided instead to be a little bit more conservative with the dollars and go for more of the basics, your back to basics dog park, and then they are planning on doing private fundraising for the rest. The other, their committee and other committees have also challenged the city and the park district about some of their pricing estimates and making sure that the prices aren't being inflated. It's really been a wonderful process from every standpoint, from the point of view of getting people involved to the point of view of people really taking the fact that it's not their money, it's the people's money, and taking it very seriously.
Joe Moore, this is good. This is good. And I'm going to divert a little bit for a moment and ask you about to give us we're going to have a little bit more information about one of those committees, one of the gardening committee. They'll be up shortly. But
yep, that's another proposal that's on the ballot. It's a proposal for a community garden.
And that's why they want to promote it, because they want to get the votes.
Isn't democracy grand? Absolutely.